November has been one of the weirdest months I've ever had as a bar owner here in Chiang Mai. Really cold weather, rain in November, which is kind of unheard of, flooding across Southeast Asia, and I couldn't find staff to save my life. But through all of that, somehow we ended up with the best sales I've seen in a long time. Let me get into it. Now, November is usually really the kickoff of high season. You start to get busier in October, but November is where it's supposed to get really busy. And this year it was a bit different. Obviously, if you've been watching the news, there's been a lot of flooding all over Southeast Asia. So that's obviously going to discourage a lot of people from wanting to come to the area. Also, it was very, very cold. In some areas in the morning, it was down to like 9 degrees Celsius, which is almost unheard of in Thailand. And lastly, the one that really hurt this area in particular, or I guess bars in general, is rain. You know, you don't usually ever see rain in Chiang Mai in November. It pretty much stops in October, and you won't really see rain again until April or May. So having rain in November is kind of an abnormality. Now, if you're coming to Thailand for the first time and don't know where to start, then I actually do one-on-one calls. Anything from buying your own bar to just what it's like coming to Thailand for the first time. I left a link in the description below if you're interested. Now, the biggest issue that we had has honestly been staffing. Now, this has been the problem from day one. I've been talking about this the entire time that I've had the bar. It is really hard to find staff to come and work in these bars. And November was no exception. We really only had one girl showing up on a nightly basis. Yes, I had my manager, my bartender manager. She was coming all the time and she's great. But you need girls out there on the floor, girls who are going to get customers to come in the bar, get drinks, and buy them drinks. And you need at least 2 or 3. Now, why are we finding it so hard to find staff? Now, obviously, it's just hard in general to find staff to come and work in these bars. I've spoken in other videos about some girls are hesitant to come and work in these bars, but also it's very difficult to just hire staff in general to work down here. But also, we never had a mama-san when we opened this bar. And even still, I just have my manager, but she's not a mama-san. And now if you don't know, a mama-san is essentially a manager of a lady bar. She usually has worked in lady bars in the past, maybe ran some, and she has connections with other girls who want to come and work for her. Now, having a mama-san come and work for you when you did open one of these bars is obviously going to be kind of a game changer. But unfortunately, we didn't have that. I didn't have that connection with somebody who had worked in the bars before and wanted to run another bar. So I kind of had to scrounge things together. The other big thing is that girls don't really want to work alone. And so yes, we do have the one staff member, but she also has struggles when she's the only girl working on the floor. It's really hard to be always the one to draw people in and do all the work if you're the only girl at the bar. But also, the girls work better when they have a friend or two with them. And so even girls who, let's say, hiring new girls, they don't want to come to a bar when they don't know anybody or their friend's not going to come with them. So it's really hard to get girls if you're just getting one at a time and get them to make a cohesive unit. You kind of want a bunch of friends to come and work together, and that really makes the best bar. A lot of these bars consist of friend groups that want to work together, enjoy working together, and that in turn makes a bar really fun. Working solo, girls are really shy and intimidated and a lot less likely to be grabbing customers and bringing them into the bar or chatting or being animated. And I get it, that can be very intimidating to be the only girl working in the bar. So obviously it's best if you had 2 or 3 or more girls working in any one of these bars. And obviously that has a direct impact on revenue. In these bars, if you don't have girls, you're not going to have customers. Most people don't come to this area just wanting to sit and drink by themselves. They come here, want to sit, chat with the girls, buy them a couple drinks, maybe buy them some, and have a good time. So without girls, your revenue is going to be limited. Now, this is especially true since now they've actually increased the number of Muay Thai fights we have in the stadium every week. Last year, there was fights Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then maybe Saturday. But that's it. This year, they decided to do Monday through Saturday. So you do get a lot more people coming and a lot more foot traffic to these bars just to watch the Muay Thai. So these bars can do pretty well off of just serving customers who are watching the fights. Now, the fights are kind of a double-edged sword, I guess you could say, because on the one hand, yes, you're getting pretty consistent customers every day to watch the fights, but then on the other, since I have the YouTube channel, there's a lot of people who are coming to see me, to meet me and come to the bar, and they're being blocked by that barrier, because they do put up a barrier at about 8 to 8:30 every night that you have to pay just to get back to these bars. And that barrier doesn't come down until 11:30. So there's a good chunk of time when people, if they want to come and see me in the bar, meet me and grab a drink, they just can't. So, you know, it is a bit of a tough situation, but for sure having the fights has helped us a lot. I'm just in a bit of a unique position with having the YouTube channel where I have people who are directly coming to see me. So that is something I'm gonna have to think about how we can solve that problem. And that kind of takes me to the numbers. How much did we make? How much did we sell? Was this bar profitable at all? So last month we had a revenue of about 120,000 baht. Alcohol purchasing came in at about 40,000. And then we do have the fixed cost things of rent and electricity and internet and all that stuff that comes out to about 25,000. So all in all, we essentially broke even last month. And I know breaking even might sound bad, but honestly, with everything going on, the weather, the flooding, and the just trepidation to fly to Southeast Asia in general at the moment, I think breaking even is perfectly fine. There was a lot of good signs that things are moving in the right direction. And so that's what I like to see. Now, why didn't we make more? I know everybody says high season is when you make so much money, you're just gonna be raking it in. And as I said, we didn't. Now, the biggest one is something I already talked about, staffing. Staffing is obviously gonna have a big result on how much money you're making. And the other big reason why we didn't make more was the weather. You know, obviously there has been a lot of flooding all over Southeast Asia. There's been those cyclones that have really stirred it up and really put a lot of water into this area. You had the Philippines that flooded, as well as a lot of Thailand, mainly the south of Thailand. But either way, that really makes people hesitant on traveling here. There has been a lot fewer people walking around and generally in Thailand than I've seen in the past, and I'm sure that has a big thing to do with it. Also, it's a lot colder than normal, which I'm sure is making people really hesitant to be going out at night. There's been a lot of days when I'm driving back to my townhouse and I am just freezing and thanking God that I'm wearing a sweater, only wishing that I had pants as well. So it's very unusual for Thailand to be that cold, and so that is obviously driving down the tourism rates. The other thing is rain. I know it's stopped now, but early in November, we were getting rain, 2-3 times a week, which is just unheard of. Like, I've never seen rain in November. It stops early October and shouldn't rain really again until March or April. So having it in November, obviously if it's pouring outside, customers are not gonna wanna come to the bar. They're not gonna go out and walk the streets of Chiang Mai when it's raining. So that obviously does drive down the foot traffic as well. But things are moving in the right direction. Like I said, this month has been a lot busier than last. As well, we were seeing really, really busy fights. You're having fights 6 days a week, and they're starting to pack the stadium on a consistent basis, which is obviously going to be really, really good for revenue. People are coming back to Thailand. I have people coming to see me at the bar, saying hi, and I really, really appreciate that. So there are people coming back to Thailand. We're also seeing some of the highest sales numbers that I've seen in a long time. A lot higher than it was for maybe 4, 5, 6 months. But this is really a turning point. I think December is going to be our strongest month yet, as December is generally a really busy month here in Thailand. The weather's improving, things are calming down, and I think this is a perfect time for tourism to really come back to Thailand and really get us to that next level. Now, if you've never been to Thailand before, or you've never been to a lady bar before and don't know what to expect, I actually wrote my own ebook, Inside Thailand's Lady Bars. It's a deep dive into how these bars operate and what to expect your first time coming. It's completely free, and so check the link in the description below for your free download. Also, if you want to support me or the channel, I have a list of affiliates that I personally use and recommend in the description below. So please check them out. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. Just a quick update on how the bar has been doing and how the bar is now that high season is officially here. Again, I think next month is going to be even better, as December is going to be really busy for the bars and for Thailand in general. Anyways, see you in the next one.